I'm an artist who really enjoys storytelling through portraiture. I really try to pay attention to their mannerisms and really the spirit of who that person is. The series of drawings and prints on donut boxes centers on the Cambodian refugee experience. It was very common for me to grow up around a lot of aunties, uncles, family friends who have donut shops. The donut is such an American thing, right? Everybody knows the donut. Everybody's really happy to eat a donut. And almost 90% of donut shops in California are owned by Cambodian refugees. And I want people to acknowledge that. The donut that you're buying, there's a deeper story to that. So the first iteration of the Pink Donut Box series started with my immediate family. And then it grew to people that I knew in my community, friends who are Vietnamese and Cambodian refugees. And then the second iteration was the Donut Kids. The Donut Kids are in color. They're colors of the donut shop. So these are kids who grew up with families who own donut shops, and most of these donut kids are born in the United States. So I want to capture this intergenerational experience of how the Cambodian refugee experience impacts Cambodian Americans who grew up in the United States. Emily Tang and Michelle Su are my donut nieces. So Emily Tang is Chinese Cambodian American. Her parents own a donut shop in Santa Clara. So she grew up every day after school going to the donut shop and helping out. When she was about 10, Child Services came to the donut shop and fined and gave a penalty to her parents and cited them and said, you know, children are not allowed to work in the donut shop. That whole experience growing up in a donut shop and seeing what her parents went through is going to really inform her career path as a lawyer. Michelle Su's parents own Olympic Donuts in East Los Angeles, and it was open 24 hours. And I remember meeting Michelle's mom, and she told me, you know, when we first came to the United States, that's all we knew. All we knew was donuts. So many refugee and immigrant parents choose not to pass on the culture and language to their children because of survival. So I wonder about that. I wonder about cultural erasure for the second and third generation. So Self-Help Graphics and Art is a nonprofit community-based organization in Boyle Heights. I collaborated with Self-Help Graphics on the prints about donut kids. And I love finding so many intersections with my history with the history of Self-Help Graphics. Self-Help Graphics has a really special place in my heart because as a community-based artist, I have a lot of respect for organizations that make art for the community and by the community. So making this body of work on Pink Donut Box has always been my desire to pass on the story to my children. I've always wanted to do that, and I don't want my children to forget where they came from. So these are the photographs that inspired the Donut Box series, and these are photographs of my family at a Thai refugee camp. So for somebody who's a refugee where I'm trying to piece fragments, art is an important vehicle for healing. Whether it's self-healing or healing with your family and intergenerational trauma or healing within your community. I always have wanted to make art about my family's Southeast Asian refugee experience. It's a very impactful experience that is complicated by trauma, war violence, and memories. And it's extremely fragmented, which is why it took me a long time to make work about such a personal history. For me, it was trying to piece together ghost stories, memories that my parents were willing to share. And I love that my American experience is really tied to other immigrants who have been here already. I feel very, very honored to have the opportunity to make work about that. My art is there to serve the community. And it's important that the art that I make, that the people who live there and who are going to be basically guardians of the artwork can identify with the artwork. For me, community-based art means that the art is really there to affect positive social change. Art for the people that you serve.